I don't know you that well.
What was so interesting that night, though, I was very calm, and I said, I feel like Rosa Parks. And she was, I think she was very calm when she walked off and was arrested. So I was very calm, and I did have a meeting with the police chief at that time, and a couple of police officers. I can't remember.
Wow, 15 years.
Oh, 15 years.
It was Carter. Was it Carter?
No, Carter is city manager. It wasn't Carter who was
police chief of Champaign.
Carter. It was Carter.
Carter?
Yeah, Sheriff Carter.
Yeah, he was the police chief at that time.
Police chief, right.
And he said, I would trust these police officers with my family, with my wife. That's what he said. And he says, your stories are so vastly different. Of course they are. He said they hung me as they entered the mall. You hear me? I was that loud. It was okay because I fit the stereotype. She's black. She's loud, crude. You know, there was another thing, it was a story. But, you know, people tell you enough about yourself, you begin to believe that it's true.
I want to tell you something about Rosa Parks. Do you know she was trained at Highlander?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. To know what she was going to do on the bus.
And
you just didn't have that training.
What training was I going to do? I was very calm.
No, I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything you particularly did wrong. I think I agree with you. Again, I'm very new to being political and activistic, and so I'm kind of, speaking out my ear, I guess, but because I don't really know that much. But I agree that we all have to believe that if your rights are not held up, it's an affront to my rights.
Yeah, exactly.
And if my rights aren't held up, it's an affront to your rights and everyone else's. And we all have to believe that. And we all have to stand up for each other's rights. Because it's not just you or anyone. It's human beings. We have to stand together as human beings. And human beings, no matter what color, race, religion, age, political affiliation, whatever, that we're all human beings, and we have much more in common than we have than the differences we have. It was mentioned before about how we love to conflict and we like to compete, and that's because people concentrate on the differences. Someone is Baptist and the other person is Presbyterian. Yeah, but you have so much in common.
Yeah.
You have these two things that are different, but you have like 20,000 things that are in common. And yet, what are you discussing? The thing that, if we were all exactly the same, it'd be a pretty boring world. What makes it wonderful is that we are all different. We all have different opinions, and we all bring something different to the table. Which is actually a slightly different point, but I guess that we are different, and just because you don't view things exactly the same way I do, your viewpoint is just as valid, and I should respect that, and in turn, because my viewpoint may not be exactly the same as yours, I would hope that you would respect me and my viewpoint.
But then that begs the question, because here we are organizing around the issue of civility and trying to fight against the tide of misinformation in the media, but are we supposed to be tolerant of the intolerant? I mean, we're supposed to have freedom of speech, people are supposed to have, and are you supposed to tolerate that? If we're supposed to all accept everybody, we have to accept those bigots then too,
I would like
right?
to respond to that. I think we, as a people, have gotten used to the idea of you're either passive or you're aggressive. It's black or white, but there are lots of shades of gray in between. What we need to do, in my opinion, is we don't, because we use terms like fighting something. Well, that's an aggressive thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, we use terminology, and you didn't do that purposely, but culturally, historically, we use terminology that is one or the other. We have the way that we have to counter this is by educating. It's not being passive. It's not just sitting back and going, do whatever. But it's also not aggressive, going, you can't do that, because that goes entirely again. What we have to do is go, okay, let's talk. Let's sit down. We're adults. We're intelligent. Let's talk. And if you're not willing to talk, well, that's a shame. But I'm not going to get upset, and I'm not going to get angry, and I'm not going to get violent. But it's going to, it reflects on your lack of willingness to sit down and discuss and try to solve the problem. And I will make other people aware that you are not trying to solve the problem. You are just furthering the problem. That's what we need to do. We need to educate. We need to speak up. But we need to do that in a respectful, civil way. We can be proactive without being aggressive.
Exactly, and I think
and we can be proactive without being passive. It's a fine line, but
and we can't fall into the sort of general thing of that all the campaigns, like whether you're on the right or the left, the campaign is you're railing against something. And when I was in Detroit for the U.S. Social Forum, I went to a workshop on hate speech, and it was probably one of the best, just a really great thing. And it was brought on by a coalition of groups, and one of the groups was saying that we had this anti-hate speech campaign, and we had this going for a long time, but then we realized, we're just kind of focusing in on the negative. So then they changed their campaign to a pro-responsible speech, and then everything was about responsible speech. And there's gray areas of hate speech, and there's gray areas of responsible. But if you're being, that's a clear sense of what's a response. I mean, there are very obvious. So that was a great turnaround for them. And in New Mexico, they actually were really successful. They were part of the In Lou Dobbs thing, where he had been constantly railing against immigrants and just spewing out all these just false facts about disease, how they would carry more